Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. How are you guys doing? Now, today I'm going to touch upon a lighter nasiha, inshallah. As you guys are familiar with the intensity of the problems that people send to us for which they require nasiha, we've been trying to deal with them because we saw them to be a bit more urgent, and those that are softer, lighter issues which are still necessary for us to give nasiha for, but because they were not that urgent, we kind of been leaving behind. But it got to the point where members of my team were telling me, bro, we need to answer to this specific question because so many people are coming with it. It got to the point where sisters started messaging my wife, telling her to come and get me to record it. So she finally put the hammer down on me, and I had to come and basically answer this question for you guys to the best of my ability. And no, I am not whipped by any means. The man them already know this. You get me? Sorry, he was doing a whipping action, so I had to. So the question is this. Brothers and sisters want to know how they can go about pursuing the opposite gender in marriage in a way that is not displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially when they have their own parents behind them, right? Their parents are cool with them getting married. Now, I like the fact that the brothers and sisters said our parents are okay with us getting married. Now, it doesn't mean that your parents have to be okay with you getting married. Sometimes you find yourself in a position where your parents don't want you to get married, but because of the fitna, it becomes basically necessary for you to do so. The point that I do want to highlight, however, is that if you're going to go out there, and before I answer anything else, if you're going to go out there and try and pursue someone in marriage, make sure that you're not just talk. Make sure you're not some little bread that's just eating up my freaking Facebook email inbox saying, Akhi, find me a sister. And then when I hold an event during Ramadan about how to find someone a spouse, and then you get the CVs, you guys back out like little ants. Obviously, I'm trying not to be rude, yeah? Be real. If you're going to approach, if you really want to get married, then make sure you follow through with it. And I don't need to say that too much about sisters, because for sisters to actually go out there and pursue someone actively, those who are practicing, I know that takes a lot. So generally speaking, not all the time, but generally speaking, sisters tend to have the backing or the support of their parents, or they tend to be in a position where when they go out, they're actually serious. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's a prerequisite. Whether your parents are okay with it or not, I don't really care. That's not my business. My business is that before you go out and put into practice the advice I'm going to give you, make sure that you actually are going to go through with it. It's not going to be a case of you just chat to someone, you get their hopes up before you, obviously you're not going to be free mixing, but you pursue someone, you introduce yourself to them in the way that is appropriate, and then they're sitting there thinking, this person's going to link up with me, and then their family comes to visit you all the way from a different country, they come and sit down with your family, then go back, and then before you know it, things are peak. Obviously, that is unacceptable, and it messes with people's feelings, right? And I say this from experience. Not too long ago, we had a brother who got approached by the sister. One of my very close friends wanted to get married, and the sister messaged him saying, boom, I'm ready. Then the brother said, fine, give me your wedding's number. The next thing, I don't think it can happen. Well, obviously, because you just saw him, you got gassed off him because he's a good looking guy, and you're lonely, you've got no life, so you're hollering at him, but deep down you know it's not going to go nowhere. So you want him to fall into sin with you? You want him to just message you on Facebook back and forth, come link up with you? Idiots. But I love you for the sake of Allah. So here's the thing, and that was for the brothers, don't get it twisted. So here's my nasiha, inshallah. How? Now this is a very real problem, and it's a taboo in our society. I mean, for you to go to, for example, this guy right here who doesn't have any sisters, but I should be able to go to him and say, Akhi, listen, bro, I'm looking for a second wife. Do you have a sister? If you think I'm good for you, you should be ready for it, right? Not that I'm looking for a second wife right now, please, no emails. But so if I say to the brother, say I'm not married, Akhi, have you got a sister? I should be able to do that. I mean, you had the likes of Umar ibn al-Khattab who went to Uthman, Abu Bakr, and then eventually the Prophet ﷺ came to him and agreed to marry his daughter, but they wanted to marry their daughters to one another. I mean, subhanAllah, you have Umar ibn al-Khattab who actually went and asked Ali radiallahu anhu to marry one of his daughters so that he could have a relationship between the bloodline of the Prophet ﷺ and him. He wanted to have the Ahlul Bayt as part of his family. So the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in, they would recommend their sisters or their daughters to people that were close companions, but we feel shy. So this is something that you shouldn't be shy to do. You should be able to actively go out and ask someone who's serious, someone that you know, that you respect, that you love, as a close friend that knows you. And obviously don't go around their back and start chatting to the sister, but say, listen, akhi, or go to the sister and say, sister, you know, you have a brother and and we know each other for a while, and I would like to consider him for marriage. This is something that shouldn't be an issue. However, I need to be speaking more so to those who actually have brothers and sisters, that when someone comes to ask you, don't be a geek. Don't be stupid about it. Don't kick off an issue, because I actually know a brother who went and asked his best friend to marry his sister, and the brother and his whole family cut off ties with him, and then they become enemies after that. And that's not how it should be. That's not the prophetic method. That's not the method of the Ashab Rasul radiallahu anhum ajma'in. Okay? You should be open to that. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to give this person to your sister, to this guy. You have to tell your brother to marry this sister. No. But you should be open to that, and you shouldn't take offense. In fact, it's beautiful, because this person that's a close, intimate companion can now actually become family as well through this bond. Okay? So that's one way. The second way, which I think is going to be more realistic considering the society and the social norms in which we live, is when you go to Islamic events. Straight up. Now, you won't hear many people saying this to you. You won't hear many people coming to you and saying, when you go to an Al-Maghrib seminar, when you go to an Al-Kawthar seminar, when you go to Sabir seminar, when you go to this charity organization event, when you go to this event, when you go to this event, keep your eyes open. Of course, lower your gaze. Don't go out there, like, you know, looking and clocking the chicks. But if someone happens to meet your eye, if you happen to notice someone that you think could be someone that's suitable for you, do not feel shy. I mean, think about it. We don't go out on the street and see sisters walking around, or we don't go out on the street and see brothers walking around like it's happy days, unless you live in Whitechapel where everything is Sharia law, right? That was a joke. But unless you live somewhere in Whitechapel where everyone is in a niqab and everyone has a lahya, mashallah. No, we don't live in an environment like that. Considering that Muslims, and we live in a minority society, we're a minority in the society, and our events are basically just specific and stuff. When you go to an Islamic event, that's a prime time to possibly find a potential spouse. And if you don't provide that as a means of access, if you don't make that a means of facilitating marriage in an appropriate way, then subhanAllah, right? Like off the bat, you're opening the door for zina. Because there is no other way, literally in this society, there is no other way that brothers and sisters can come in a way where they can actually see each other, acknowledge and appreciate each other in a way where they could potentially pursue them in marriage in a way that is appropriate and pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Other than that, go to the ISOC, get involved in the ISOC, spend some time with a preparing event, before you know it, bang, 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 astaghfirullah al-azim. We don't want none of that. Okay, and actually, when I was in Bayna in the summer studying the Arabic course with Sheikh Abdul Nasir Jangda, he actually facilitated this. He actually came out and he said, listen, he selected a brother from amongst the brothers to be a volunteer. From the sister side, there was going to be his wife that was taking care of it. And he said, obviously, look, you guys are in a situation where you're here for a month. 50 guys, 50 girls, right? We don't want you to free mix, but if you happen to, like someone, then what you do is you go to the brother, you go to my wife, you send your marriage CVs or your bio datas or whatever it is you want to call it, you show your interest, and boom, which we will personally see if we can make it happen. Now that right there is a real guy, mashallah. And event organizers should be open to this. Honestly, when I go to events, right, if I am holding a dawah training course or whatever, I try to hint it very openly, by the way, at the beginning. I try to show people, look, if you see someone, just holler at me, let me know, I'll pass the message on to them if you're shy. Now here's the thing, sometimes sisters are worried thinking, well, will I look a bit forward? Will I look a bit too upfront asking? No, not at all. Khadija radiallahu anha, she proposed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was the best woman from amongst the companions. Her and Fatima radiallahu anha. These two women, may Allah be pleased with both of them, were the best from amongst the companions. Khadija radiallahu anha, she openly proposed to the Prophet ﷺ. She liked him, checked him out. There's no big thing. If she can do it, then who are you to not do it? And then on the other side, is it wrong for a guy to be attracted towards a girl? No, because we find from the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, when Juwayriya radiallahu anha, who was one of the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, at this time she wasn't his wife, she came and she was the daughter of a leader of a tribe, and she was very powerful in her speech and eloquent, and she was talking to the Prophet ﷺ, trying to negotiate with him for her people. And she came and she spoke in such a passionate way that Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that I swear by Allah, when I saw her, from that moment I hated her. Why? Because she knew that that is exactly what the Prophet ﷺ would be attracted to, and that he would possibly, potentially, he could propose to her. And there was a lot of political benefit to him marrying her as well. But at the same time, he was attracted to someone. There could be all the political benefit in the world. But if you're not attracted to someone, you're not going to go out there and marry them, are you? Like, let's be real, right? So the Prophet ﷺ was attracted towards her, and then he proposed to her. It's not a taboo. Why do we feel bad? Like, honestly, I know guys are the ones that, you know, they're the ones who are known to, you know, you like a sister, send an email, send a messenger, do this. But it's still frowned upon by society. The guy actually feels shy, like he's doing a crime. No, if you think a sister's nice, get someone to approach her for you, right? Maybe tell your sister, maybe tell the event organizers, maybe do this, maybe do that. You know, you can find a way where you don't have to directly go and do it yourself. Okay? I'm not in the business of passing fatwas. I'm just telling you what to do to keep safe. So once you do this and you have found someone, well, what's the next stage? The next stage is this. You need to find out about this person. Before you go and pursue this person, before you propose to this person, even before you propose, even before you go and ask this person, what on earth do you do? I mean, usually I get brothers and sisters asking me all the time, well, look, if I can't go out on a date, like if I can't take her to OD and sit in the back and basically put my arm around her. No, I'm not really going to put my arm around her. I'm just going to watch the movie, but we're going to talk after. If I can't do that, how am I going to get to know her? If I can't take her out to Nando's, Halal Nando's, if I can't go out and take her to Aladdin's in Hounslow, HMC, if I can't do these things, HFA, which one is it? I don't eat chicken outside, so I don't know. Alhamdulillah, I only eat meat at home. I have a thing. But the point is this, yeah, that you think that if I can't take this person out on a date, how am I going to get to know this person? That's a very valid concern, and a lot of the times people don't answer this properly. What I would propose, obviously we can't go out there and go out on dates. It's not permissible. And that is the way of those who are immodest in nature and those who displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, what I would like to suggest and put forth is an alternative that I personally feel is better. And that is to speak to those who know this person best. To speak to this person's family members. His brothers, his sisters, his parents if you can, or her parents if you can, or her brother and sister if you can. Aisha radiallahu anha was approached by people and asked her, what is the khuluq? What is the character? What is the akhlaq? So what's the khuluq? What's the character of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And she responded that his khuluq is that of the Quran. He is a walking, talking Quran. Why did they ask her specifically? Because someone who is part of the person's family, someone who's inside the house, it's like, you know, we have a saying in Pakistan, I'll try and translate it for you, that the person is a cat outside the house, but inside the house is a lion. Meaning outside he's like, how are you, sir? Assalamu alaikum, brother, mashallah, mashallah. But inside the house, oi, where's my food, brother? Clap your face. You know, astaghfirullah al-azim, right? That oppressive nature. So, you know, someone could be one way outside, but to find out what this person is really like, you've got to know what the people who live with him or her think about this individual. So that's why Aisha radiallahu anha was asked. And she affirmed that he had the best character. So you want to ask this person's family members. You want to ask this person's friends. If you can get through to a friend that's lived with this person or traveled with this person or done business with this person, that person is very likely to know him or her. Someone who has been a childhood friend. Now, I just want to make a point here. It is not considered backbiting in the case, this is an exception, in the case where someone asks you about someone that they want to pursue for marriage, about this person, that you tell them something negative about their character. For example, I want to say a sister wants to marry a brother. So she asks the brother's brother, or she communicates to the brother's sister, or somehow she communicates from the brother's family members or friends, what is this brother like? The brother, it would not be backbiting for him. It would not be backbiting for him or her to come out and say that my brother is hot-tempered. Because it's a fact. In the case of marriage, it is not considered backbiting. And the second thing is that the onus is upon the one who is being asked to be honest and truthful. The onus is upon this individual to not beat around the bush. If he knows that the guy has got an anger problem, or if he knows the guy is, you know, on some bookie flex, mashallah, the brother is this and this and this and this and this, and exaggerate. No, none of that. The onus is upon you to be truthful. However, how truthful should you be? Should you go around stating unnecessary facts? No. You only need to mention that which is necessary, and then leave that there. Now, I personally think this is a better alternative. Why? Because when you go out on a date, not only is it displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but my brothers and sisters, on top of that, that is a time where the fakes and the facade kind of image is put forth. I'm telling you, I came out of Jahiliyyah. Most of you came out of Jahiliyyah. You already know what it's like. When you go out on a date with someone, you give them their best image of you. You give them your best image possible. You make it seem like you are who exactly they want to be. It is only later on down the line that you get to find out what this person is really like. But now what you're doing is you're skipping that facade process of buying into a fake image and fake lies and someone feeding you what they want to feed you. And you're going straight to the source of those who know this person. And you're asking them, what go on, fam? Like, what's he really saying? Is he really praying Fajr in the front row? Allah Alam. I'm just saying, but that's the way that you find out. Okay, khalas. Now you have found out information. What kind of information should you be looking out for? For women who are looking for a husband, we know from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that his akhlaq, his manners, and his deen are the two things. Because the Prophet ﷺ said that if someone approaches you asking for your daughter, I believe your daughter, and he possesses these two qualities of great manners, fantastic manners, and also he is a religious person that fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this person is deen, and you reject this person, then you have opened the doors for fitna. Fitna, and we see this every day, right? Brothers who come with iman, brothers who come with akhlaq, they come with manners, they come with this to the table, and no, because he doesn't have this PhD, he's not a doctor, he's not XYZ, then when you know what happens? Bear stories, don't worry, we've got bear stories. May Allah, I wish these stories didn't come to us, but we've got bear stories of these same sisters who parents thought that they were too good for this guy because he only had iman and he only had good manners. What happens is that these same daughters of theirs go out and they get pregnant by kuffar, and then no one wants to marry them. True story. So, for sisters who are looking for a husband, these are the two things that you're looking for. We all know the famous hadith that when you're looking for a wife, you look for her wealth, her lineage, her beauty, and her deen. These are the four things that you look for. Of course, the deen is the most important thing. Now, Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, rahimahullah, he basically mentioned something really important, right, for us to take into account. Although we know deen is the most important thing, and is the most important thing to look out for, he, however, mentioned that if you find two sisters, and both of them are equal in their deen, however, one is more beautiful than the other, then go for the one with more beauty, because it protects you from fitna. It protects you from a great fitna, right? But if you find a woman that is more beautiful than the other, however, she is deficient in her deen, but the other woman, she is less beautiful, but is more proficient in her deen, then pick the less beautiful one. And also, it is reported that Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahimahullah said that if you have two women, and both of them perform the fara'id, but one of them upon the fara'id is beautiful than the other one, and then upon the fara'id the other one does more extra voluntary acts, then go for the one that is more beautiful if it is going to be a fitna for you. Now, Islam is a very realistic religion. It's a very realistic and holistic deen. Are these the only four for the brothers, or only two things that you need to ask for? No, of course not. There are many things that may be, important to you on a subjective level. You may want to know, look, okay, what's the sister's views on the da'wah? What's the sister's, political views? I know this comes into it. Like maybe you're already passionate, about certain political issues. Obviously, pertaining to Islam and that which is, in corroboration to the Sharia and so on and so forth. But whatever your special interest may be, it may be that, for example, one brother, a very very well-known da'i, he recommended and suggested, he said that when I went to propose to my future wife, I told her everything wrong about me first. I told her everything, all the bad things about me. For example, I made it very clear to her that these are some things that are like the worst things about me, and it's not going to get better than this. For example, I'm a very messy person. I'm messy, and that's just the way I am. I'm messy. That's it. Take it. I'm not going to be clean, right? I want to be clean. I aspire to be clean, but I'm messy, right? And it's better for you to just be straight up. Do you see what I'm saying? And let the person know, because then you'll find out. Okay, look, this is a person that I really can't live with, and make sure you communicate what messy means, right? Because, for example, me. Messy is like mess. But for my wife, mess, literally mess, and this drives me crazy, is a few drops next to the sink of water. Like, we both interpret messiness to be different things. So make sure that not only you explain what you want and what you can't actually handle and what you really are like, but what it means to be these specific things. When you say, I can be a bit hot-tempered, what does that mean? I mean, me, I can be hot-tempered when I'm really pushed. It's a deficiency of my character that I need to work on, but when I really push, then I can explode. But then you have someone that explodes in every single second, and that person's hot-tempered. And then they're same things, we use the same language, but they mean different things. But I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, that's just a general Naseeha. What do? Right, you ask for things that are relevant to you. Now, once you've asked these questions to the person that you're trying to find out, now you go back and you consult. You ask for nasiha from others. You gain advice from those who are close to you. If your parents are in a position where they're not culturally orientated to the point where they just want you to marry someone from your tribe and that same street and that next door neighbor who, you know, is your whatever cousin. Not that it's wrong to marry your cousin, but someone who's on that vibe, then maybe it's a bit difficult to get nasiha from them. But people that you should genuinely get nasiha from are people of knowledge. My imam and a few other people of knowledge. I remember I asked them consistently before I got married some serious nasiha. And wallahi, every time they drop me gems. They drop me stuff that I can tell you has prepared me for marriage in a way that I could not have even fathomed that I have actually understood what they gave me myself. It is necessary, I feel it is necessary for me to have gotten this from them. If not, then I would be in a very bad situation right now. So their nasiha has been invaluable to me. On top of that, even if you don't have someone who's a person of knowledge, but you have someone who is a practicing person and is already married, these people have fantastic knowledge. Have fantastic wisdom and insight and experience into this. I went to a handful of brothers that had already been married, one of them specifically, who consistently just kept giving me fantastic nasiha about what to expect and how to be prepared and what to do, and if this is the kind of person I want to pursue, and blah 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 and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? So consultation is very necessary. Now, after you've consulted with the people, then what you do is you go and make salatul istikhara. Right? Now, I'm not going to explain to you what istikhara is, how to do istikhara. You see this box right here? This is a fantastic video by Sheikh Abdul Nasir Janda, and he goes through what istikhara is, clearing up all your fantasies, all your visions, and you're going to see some person appear in front of you, you know, and give you a ring and all that kind of bookiness. It don't work like that, but I'll let the Sheikh explain that to you. Once you make salatul istikhara, then you make the decision. Shall I go out and propose to this person? This is before the proposal, by the way. This is how you make sure you reduce the chance of getting divorced 2-3 months down the line after marriage. This is how you reduce the possibility of, you know, a marriage in shambles later on down the line. This is how you reduce the possibility of heartbreak when you go through this process at the beginning. When you go through this, then you make the decision, am I going to propose? Or if you have been proposed to, am I going to accept after this process? Now, once this has happened, then you place your tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once you have made your decision, you place your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You, in a way that is appropriate with this person's family members, if it's a sister, with her wali, with her mahram, so on and so forth, meet the person, you know, get to know them in that way, get to know the families, and don't rush. And do rush. Once you've got to the stage when you get to know the person, you don't need to know everything about this person. You don't need to know her favorite color. You don't need to know his, favorite clothing brand. Who gives a flying cow about these things? We don't care. I don't care about cows right about now. I want to get down to the business, okay? Because if you don't, I promise you, Shaitan will do everything possible to try and ensure that marriage doesn't happen. The longer you leave that gap, the longer it takes for the families to come together to decide on the nikah to take place, I promise you, Shaitan, he doesn't want you to get married. We know from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that the one thing that Shaitan loves more than anything else from his minions is when they tell him that today I got 2 people divorced, to the point where he will say, you come and sit on my throne, you take the day off. You could get someone to have murdered, done crack, go to jail, become a pedophile, rape, do all these things. But nothing makes him as happy as when Shaitan hears that one of his minions has caused 2 people to become divorced. So it is in his best interest to stop the marriage from happening in the first place. He may get you to fall into zina and so on and so forth. All these things may happen. Make sure that you get down to the business straight away. Within a matter of weeks, you can get to know all this information. If you do it, you know, due diligently and you do it properly and how I've kind of advised you to do it, you can be married, right? You don't have to live with each other. You don't have to have the money. What? If you tell me you don't have money, I don't have money to marry this person.
or she don't have money to, blah, blah, blah. Where do you live right now? You live with your parents? Where does she live, with her parents? So when you get married, like, move her in. Move in. Did you pay for the furniture in your room? No. Bring her in. You have a single mattress? You can share a single mattress. Unless you're Humpty Dumpty. I don't think anyone's really Humpty Dumpty. You can share a single mattress. Even if you're big bone, you can share a single mattress. Even if you're chubby, you can share a single mattress. It doesn't matter. You can fit on a single mattress. Don't be too extravagant. Don't be over the top. If you got the money, you can get it. Okay, fine. What? How much is double mattress going to cost you? Let's be real. With a bed from Next and a mattress or something from DFS, £400-500? It's not much. You can save up that much for a bed. You can sleep on the floor, man. Let's be real. You can sleep on the floor. It's no big deal, but get married. Make sure that you come together and you make that contract, inshallah, okay? And you go ahead and you do that. Now, obviously, I've tried to give you whatever Naseeha I could best to my ability. This is advice that I've received from people of knowledge, people of experience. Myself, you don't have to stick to this rigidly. Obviously, there's a bit of flexibility involved. But one thing you need to make sure is never do anything that would displease Allah during this process. Because you literally, man, I'm telling you, suck the barakah out of it. You don't know how many people I've spoken to that have been married and said, because I went about pursuing my wife in the wrong way, now I'm in a position where it's just no barakah in a marriage. It don't feel right. Sincerely, make sure that you please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala far away. Now, I know I went into a bit. How long was that video, bro? So far? Roughly. Obviously, I had to go into it for you guys, and I really hope that you guys have benefited, inshallah. And I hope you will share this video, and I hope you guys will get married, inshallah, right? Just one side note I want to make is that if you are going to go out and do istikhara and, go through this long process, say someone has proposed to you, sometimes it's really peak and painful for that person to just be kept in the dark. Because it might take a week or 2 weeks or maybe even 3 weeks. In worst case scenario, it might even take a month to properly go and investigate about this person. To go and ask his family members, sit down, have a meeting, do all these things. It may take a while to do that. The person proposed to you just waiting in the dark and you said, okay, let me think about it, let me make istikhara, and you have to go through this long process to make istikhara. It's not fair that you don't let the person know what you're doing. Let the person know that, I'm going to basically do my research on you. I'm about to get my detective on, right? At least let them know, throughout whoever it is. Because sometimes, and very commonly, one of the cop-outs, when you don't really want to be with someone is, let me make istikhara. That's the way we do it. Rather, it's better that you just be a man, or it's better that, you just be a strong woman, and just say off the bat, look, I'm just not feeling you. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling you. I don't care, really, I don't care if the person gets upset or whatever, just say it. In a respectful way, I don't want to marry you. You're not my cup of tea. It's better that you do that and hit them with it when they haven't developed emotions for you. They might feel sad for a day or two, than to drag them on for a couple of weeks and at the end a month or even more, and then them thinking that there's hope, there's chance, and there isn't. Or on the flip side, if you are serious, let them know that you're serious and you are actively looking into it, inshallah. And as a community, as a society, let's stop making what is supposed to be so simple so hard. Please. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. NaseehaSession.com. You see the email address here. Keep them coming. And obviously, please keep your donations consistent. These videos, they cannot come unless you're consistent with your donations. Each video requires a specific amount to be done because we have fees of people who do the videos to cater for. Wallahi, nothing comes into my own pockets. And we obviously go to our own pockets before we request you to support us. But because this is a non-profit, this specific project is a non-profit project for the Ummah, right? We trust that the Ummah will obviously participate in helping it. Go ahead. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Click the like button, share the video, and let people know. Peace.